Jeff Darlington, is there a player we should have our eye on who could be the next in that road, taking that road down there to try and play with Tampa, Tom?
So I know where you're trying to take me with this. You want me to throw out this name that's on the tip of my tongue. And I'm going to say it, but there is a caveat that comes with it. I'm going to say Odell Beckham Jr. And I'm going to say that because of the relationship between Tom Brady and Odell. Fully understanding that this would take a lot to actually make this happen. Keep in mind that Tom Brady did not, before the start of this season, pitch Jason Light on the idea of Odell coming down to Miami, despite the fact that those guys would like to play together at some point. I say this because I could see going into this offseason with Odell being in a situation where it feels like perhaps he's more expendable to the Browns than he was last year, that perhaps Jason Light would take the call. But to all of these points, I'm also told that they really do like where they stand with Chris Godwin, with Mike Evans, with Antonio Brown if they can bring him back. If something changes, though, that would be the one that I'd be watching, Greeny. I'm very curious to see how Odell looks into this.
A retake of my first question. You asked me if they could win a Super Bowl again, and I said I don't see why not. If this is anywhere close to true, the answer is yes, 1,000% yes, they will be back in this spot because Odell is still one of the most talented players in the league at his position. And in that situation, in that system, I think he is an upgrade over, and I know there are some great receivers down there. A healthy, top-tier Odell is an upgrade at the receiver position and makes this team even scarier than they are right now.
Well, let's get to this. And I want to remind everyone that it was on this show that this man, Jeff Darlington, broke the news that Tom Brady was going to leave New England. And a lot of people made fun of you for saying it at the time, Jeff. They thought you were crazy. Oh, when push comes to shove, he'll never leave New England. And, of course, that's exactly what he did. And there's a history here between these two guys. There is a long-standing relationship between Odell and Brady. And I want to put the quotes up here. Odell, in October of 2019, said this about Tom Brady, quote, 2-3 years ago, there was speculation that was going on, and I was willing and ready to go over there at any point in time. That was always a dream of mine to play for Tom Brady. So this is not something, Jeff, that we are pulling sort of out of thin air. What can you tell us about that relationship?
Well, I mean, look, like I said, these guys have talked for years. And again, it comes down to in the middle of last year or toward the end of this past season, Tom really did feel like he was getting a great chemistry, an expected chemistry with Antonio Brown. So going into this offseason, there might not even be room for another wide receiver. But to Mike Tannenbaum's point, when all these guys start coming to get paid, Chris Godwin looking for, potentially upwards of $20 million annually per year as a wide receiver, does at some point those negotiations cause Jason Light to say, hey, look, this is a guy with a relationship with Tom. Maybe we consider bringing him. I think the point in all of this is that we are now at the point where Tampa Bay is a destination. That was not the case this year or this point last year. Now it is. The relationship exists. I'm not willing to take it off the table at this point.
And look, we're all so impressed with what the Cleveland Browns have done. Ryan Clark yesterday put them in his top 5 teams that could win next year, and justifiably so. They've gotten a lot of things right. Mike Tannenbaum, they did so much of that the second half of the season after Odell wound up getting hurt. If you're running that franchise, is he expendable at the right price, and what is the price?
Yes, absolutely. And to their credit, they have a great foundation. If I'm Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Browns, I'm saying to Jason Light, it's a first-round pick because OBJ is only 29, and when he's healthy, he's still one of the most explosive players. Now, if I'm Jason Light on the other end of that conversation, as Jeff alluded to, if I see Chris Godwin's price going up to where 18, 19 million, where I'm not comfortable, maybe I trade the 32nd pick for OBJ. Now I take those resources that I was going to pay Chris Godwin, and now I can keep Levante David, more flexibility on Shaq Barrett, and Ndamukong Suh. It brings a lot more players into play. So it's really a good resource allocation exercise if I'm Tampa Bay. And one other point, as you noted, Greeny, which is Tom Brady went 3 for 3. Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski all scored, all helped them win. If he walks into Bruce Arians and to Jason Light's office and say, hey, I believe in OBJ, even though he had great stature last year, imagine how much more he has because he went 3 for 3 in terms of his recommendations.
All right, so this is one to keep a close eye on. And when it starts to feel like it's happening, remember where you heard it first. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.